Hey everyone, it's Alicia, and welcome back to the Eating Me podcast. Y'all, I am really excited for this week's episode because, I was honestly thinking, I was like, I feel like AI is like transforming so many things in our lives. We know about like things like Chat GPT. What's that? The new one, the Deep Seek, um, Gemini. Like there's so many different AI platforms that are out there that are creating ways. It's controversial. Some people feel like it's a lifesaver. Some people feel like it's something that's like a cheat to just, getting information or being able to think for yourself. Either way, AI is here and, we can incorporate it or not incorporate it in our daily lives, but it seems as if no matter what we do, AI is going to be a part of our lives in some way, shape, or form. And I was thinking, me thinking about, okay, how is AI affecting the food industry? And me, I had to find an article and I was blown away. I was like, "Oh, it's a lot of information out there as it relates to AI and food and how the food industry has started to implement AI, platforms and things of that nature into our world." So I found this article and it's called The Latest AI Trends Transforming the Food Industry. And it was something that Forbes put out uh, this month. It was March 18th, 2025. If you maybe listen to this at another time, this actual I guess the article was sent out or published on March 18th, and I'm recording this on the 22nd of March. So this is pretty fresh information. So I loved this article, and I wanted to use this article because, like I said, AI has been something that is trending in the food industry, and I didn't realize how big it was, a thing in the food industry. But here we are learning about things that are affecting the way we eat each and every day. One thing I did notice in this article, it does talk about, it doesn't just kind of give you this fluff type of approach of like, oh, AI is this great thing and it's saving our lives. I mean, it does talk about the benefits but it also talks about the actual the risks of AI and things that could cause, harm with AI. But, let's get into the actual article. There were a few things I wanted to highlight. So let's start at the beginning of this article. It says AI trends obviously are revolutionizing the food industry from production to safety to personalized diets and smarter chain supply. As companies tackle food waste, safety concerns, labor shortages, and evolving consumer demands, the AI driven food tech market is projected to soar $27.73 billion by 2029. The surge is fueled by the push for tailored nutrition, stricter safety standards and supply chain optimization and sustainability, marketing a new era in the way we feed the world. And I love that intro because it really kind of like gives you an idea of like, whoa, $27.73 billion by 2029, that the food market will be involving AI into how they produce food. That's pretty substantial, in my opinion. But one thing I also wanted to point out in this article was the actual AI trends, just in general, and how they are manufacturing food. Like I said, the preparation, the distribution, and even down to food sustainability. These things are all being considered by way of AI. And another thing I wanted to point out too, the an AI trend in fighting malnutrition and hunger. So I'll kind of like talk about those main topics there. So yeah, going back here, I loved this whole thing of like talking about AI and food distribution. So it says, as food costs rise due to new tariffs and labor shortages continue, many distributors are looking for ways to cut costs and improve efficiency. So Choco is a startup focused on improving the food supply chain, launched Autopilot. It is an AI tool that helps food distributors process orders without manual input. Autopilot automatically reviews incoming orders, checks their accuracy, and either processes them or immediately flags them for review. This reduces the need for workers to manually enter orders, allowing them to focus on other tasks. Since launching Choco AI in 2023, the company has worked to streamline order management across voicemail, text messaging, WhatsApp, and email. And this seems like pretty cool, right? So it says like the autopilot is the first AI agent in food distribution. And this was shared by Dan Kachab. I could be butchering his name, and I'm sorry, but he's the CEO and co-founder of Choco. He says it makes its own decisions, processes orders instantly, and keeps distributors in full control. AI agents will redefine how food distribution operates, and autopilot is the first step. And I thought that was really interesting because I'm just like, wow, like the removal of the human actually doing this, it's here. This is not something that's like, oh, it's, on the horizon. This is here. And we've seen this in certain things. Like even if you look at fast food, and even this article talks about that, how certain fast food industries have, gone to AI based distribution of the food. If you go to like, I mean, I'm not really a big fast food person, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but I've gone to, I think it was McDonald's or maybe it was Burger King. We were on the road going somewhere, and they had the ordering process where you ordered from this computer, and then the computer then sent the order to the kitchen. I mean, there were people in the kitchen cooking, but there wasn't an actual counter where you spoke with somebody about what you wanted. Like everything was done by way of this computer. So that was something that I noticed just, being a consumer. And like I said, I rarely go out. So I can only imagine people who eat out a lot or who do consume fast food, what you were experiencing in, the fast food world as it relates to AI. And it's kind of like that eye opener too. It's like this is like an AI based type of way of managing things. But I think it's like because we aren't really like talking about the fact that this is an AI generated way of doing things, we don't think of it that way, or at least I wasn't thinking of it that way until I started, learning more about AI and how it is affecting the food industry. Another thing that I wanted to point out too was the quality control and food safety. So AI is revolutionizing food inspection and quality assurance, improving contamination detection, ensuring product consistency, optimizing shelf life predictions, risk prediction, and compliance monitoring to enhance public health and safety. So, Nestle's AI powered visual inspection systems are redefining quality control in food production, while Danone's partnership with Sight Machine has enhanced real time monitoring in dairy plants. The UK Security Agency is exploring the use of AI to detect foodborne illness outbreaks by analyzing online restaurant reviews for mentions of symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea, as well as specific food items. In a recent study, the UK HSA, which is the UK Security Agency, that's their acronym, scientists assessed different AI models to evaluate their ability to identify and classify relevant text in thousands of reviews. So, since many cases of gastrointestinal illnesses go undiagnosed, AI could help provide a more comprehensive picture of outbreak sources and trends. Meanwhile, companies like Coca-Cola, through its investment in AI startup it's called Agnex, are improving quality checks for beverages, and Unilever's acquisition of Carver Korea in advancing AI in cosmetic food production. I thought that was really interesting because especially the gastrointestinal illnesses, because a lot of times you'll find out about, um, you know, you being sick by way of just you going to eat, not you knowing that this is something that could be happening in an actual restaurant or whatever. I mean, I think this is really helpful in some ways. In some ways, I mean, it's obviously not helpful for these restaurants that have to experience this, but I think it would be helpful for the consumer because it's like to know that people are getting sick by way of going and eating at these different restaurants. I think that is helpful. I'm not really sure how that would work here in New York City. New York City is there's so many restaurants here. I mean, if you've been to New York, you completely understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I guess they could implement something like this, but I just personally, I don't know how this would even be rolled out. I mean, if it does work, that's wonderful. But I just feel like there's so many restaurants and there's so many chains by way of whatever. I mean, you can break it down by the street and all that, but there's just so much hustle and bustle here that I don't know that people are really gonna be looking to these reviews, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong on this, but I don't know that that would be helpful here, but I think in maybe other places that aren't so, like, oversaturated, it might be helpful with, like, figuring out, okay, maybe we should kinda lay low from them and, until their numbers are better or until things seem to be, a bit better, with going out to eat there, maybe we go somewhere else or maybe just, like I do, just cook at home. Like I was saying before, the AI trends in fast food, that was something else that was really interesting in this article. It says that artificial intelligence is rapidly reshaping the fast food industry, enhancing efficiency and redefining customer experiences. Over the past decade, AI powered kiosks, digital menus, drive through automation, and delivery innovations have become standard, with major chains heavily investing in next generation technology. So, Wendy's plans to expand its fresh AI drive-through system to 600 locations by 2025, using voice recognition to streamline orders. Yum brands Yum Brands, the parent company of KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, has launched Byte by Yum, an AI-driven software suite improving online ordering, kitchen management, and delivery logistics. Meanwhile, McDonald's is integrating AI powered drive throughs, ordering accuracy tools, and smart kitchen systems across its 43,000 locations to enhance speed and efficiency. As restaurants embrace AI driven operations, delivery platforms are doing the same. So Uber Eats uses AI to optimize routes, predict arrival times, and personalize recommendations, while in Los Angeles, Serve Robotics autonomous sidewalk robots are now handling food deliveries for Uber Eats platforms. And this is really eye-opening because when you think about when you do order things like through Uber Eats and all that stuff, and you do get the estimated, time of arrival for your food, that's AI. And I know this sounds so like silly, but it's like, oh my gosh, like, this has been here for a long time. When you think about it, it's like, well, yeah, like, I look at the app, like, sometimes when I order, pizza or whatever for my daughter, they don't talk about Domino's in this article, but Domino's has the same type of platform where you order it and then it shows you that it was ordered. It shows you that they're prepping it. It shows that it's being cooked. It shows when they're actually packaging it. It shows you also then from there when they're going to head out to actually deliver the pizza. So you're looking at everything in real time. And in my mind, I don't know what I was thinking was happening, but it's so interesting now to think of and to know like, oh, this is all AI generated technology that is giving us this type of information. And it's so funny when I think about this stuff now, especially growing up without any of this stuff, beforehand, like you just waited for the stuff. You ordered your pizza or you went to, if you did go to somewhere like Wendy's or whatever, you just ordered it and you just waited for your food. There was nothing that was actually kind of like prepping you to know when things were going to actually come to you or whatever, right? It's so interesting now being in this time and seeing the transition of how fast food and how you order food is being manufactured. It's so interesting to me, I would say. So yeah, and also the AI trends when it comes to food sustainability. I really was interested in this because I'm huge on like food waste and managing food waste. We actually compost, our food waste in my home. So what I do, and this is like whatever, if you do have compost that keep in your home, or you want to compost, but you're afraid of like, oh, it's going to smell in my house, whatever. What I do is I have a section in my freezer that I know there's going to be the area for my compost, and I keep all my compost in a plastic bag. And then when it's full, obviously, then I take it down to the compost. Luckily, here I'm at my apartment building. We have a compost dispenser, or like almost like a trash can kind of thing. So we can just kind of discard of it there, which is super helpful. We used to go to like a food co-op that would have the actual compost stations and you would then bring your stuff there. But it's been so helpful to have it here on site at my apartment building, so I don't have to go out of my way to like do that. But as it relates to AI and food sustainability, this in the article it says globally, AI is helping to reduce food's environmental impact by cutting food waste and optimizing supply chains. Spain's AI-driven fermentation startup MOA Food Tech turns waste into functional foods. While tomorrow, a Seattle-based startup is distributing the refrigerator using AI to prolong the shelf life to produce. Yeah, shelf life of produce. Sorry, y'all. AI enhances demand forecasting and logistics with retailers like Co-op and Carrefour using Google's AI tools to cut food waste, while Unilever's adopts Google's TraceSmart platform to improve supply chain transparency and combat deforestation. Investors are capitalizing on the AI-driven food sustainability trend. In London, sustainability consultancy Bright Tide Sustain AI Accelerator is creating a collaborative ecosystem between entrepreneurs and private sector leaders, while the EIT Food, a European initiative for sustainable food innovation, invests in AI driven solutions that help to make food space more sustainable. EIT Food supports several startups harnessing the power of AI to develop solutions to environmental, health, and food safety related challenges, says Marie Rossier. She's the head of entrepreneurship programs at EIT Food. In the Netherlands, for example, food tech companies one third has developed AI empowered infrared I can't talk infrared scanners that can determine the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. The company has set a goal of preventing 150 million kilograms of food waste by 2027 and estimates that its technology would save millions of euros for growers and hundreds of millions for retailers. By supporting entrepreneurs to develop and scale AI powered innovations and empowering actors across the food supply chain to integrate these technologies into their operations, we have the opportunity to shift towards a more sustainable, healthy, and resilient food system. And I love that because I feel like a lot of the waste that we accrue, not just in the United States, right, but even around the world, I'm assuming, can be prevented by things like this, being able to determine, how long something can be on the shelf. And, should we find ways to manufacture, well, not manufacture, but just, you get it off the shelves. Maybe there's probably some type of AI tool to help with selling, like, who knows, right? So it's really interesting to see how AI is even managing sustainability. Like, it's wild that it's going this far, but also really cool at the same time. Excuse me, y'all. I have been actually, like, getting a healing from some illness here. I had, like, a little bit of, like, a viral something going on. So, excuse me as I keep drinking back and forth here. The AI trends in fighting malnutrition and hunger, this is where I was really drawn to, because I feel like in a lot of ways, going back to the sustainability thing and the waste that we have here in the world, I think a lot of this can then help with, like, that's twofold, right? Where we know that there is a need on a global scale, maybe we can then help with the food that potentially be wasted. If that makes sense. Hopefully, this is all coming together for y'all like it is in my head. But I'm thinking if AI is able to navigate and manage, okay, this is how long this stuff can be on the shelf. Can we take this and help those that are in need? Right? Those who are food insecure, the malnutrition issues that we have around the world. Can we merge those two AI trends to help and, like, bridge that gap? And I don't think it says that here in this actual article, but I'll share with you what the article says about using AI to tackle malnutrition and hunger. So it says AI is emerging as a powerful tool in tackling malnutrition and food insecurity, says Lawrence Haddad, executive director of the Global Alliance in Improved Nutrition, a Swiss NGO that strives to reduce malnutrition by improving access to healthier diets, particularly for vulnerable populations. Haddad highlights AI's potential to accelerate the search for more nutritious and resilient food species, enhance public policy through better data visualization and provide a real time insight into dietary habits and nutrition program coverage. UN agencies like the World Food Program, the WFP, are leveraging AI in the fight against hunger. Hunger Map Live uses data, big data, and predictive analytics to monitor and forecast food security in a near real time. While Geotar, currently developed in Afghanistan, Chad, and Bangladesh, utilizes satellite and drone data to improve targeting accuracy for food assistance. UFP's AI Sandbox initiative further fosters innovation and collaboration, allowing experts to develop and scale AI driven solutions for food security challenges. And like I said, I think this would be something, in my opinion, that would just help so much. And I'm hoping that they are continuing to um, utilize AI in the way of really trying to tackle food insecurity and the malnutrition that we see on a global scale. I feel like a lot of the issues that we see when it comes to food insecurity, at least in the United States, a lot of it is blocked by way of different laws and how you can actually give food away anymore. I mean, I remember a time where like certain restaurants and things of that nature, but when they closed, people could come and get that food and then give it out to people who are in need. But a lot of places now you can't do that because of the laws that have been put in place. And I get it that there can be issues with like food poisoning and things of that nature. But more times than not, if it's like certain foods that you made that particular day, like bread, for instance, I mean, I don't see why we couldn't give that out. But that's just my opinion. So it's like a lot of things have there are a lot of limitations with giving away food anymore. But I feel like there should be some type of leniency because especially now in this economy, so many people are in need. And I feel like why not open up those doors to people who definitely are, like I said, are in need and would actually eat this food instead of it just being thrown away? Because a lot of times, if you go to different, if you're walking, especially in New York, if you're walking in New York and you see and it's late, like the restaurant has closed or they're in the process of closing, you'll see bags of food just on the street and it's going to be picked up by sanitation either later that night or early in the morning. And it's just like that is food that someone could actually eat, and it's heartbreaking in a lot of ways to see that and know that this is all being wasted and someone could actually use it you know but even in this article, like I said, I love the fact that they didn't just talk about all the wonderful things like, oh, AI is going to be this great thing, is da 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 da, and we just should just jump on board, right? They talk about the risk and the danger of AI as well. And so it says, while AI has the potential to revolutionize the food industry, its implementation requires careful oversight to balance innovation with accuracy, ethics, and consumer trust. AI driven automation in fast food operation has already faced setbacks. McDonald's, for example, altered its AI powered drive through experiment after encountering issues with order inaccuracies, underscoring the need for continuous refinement and consumer acceptance. So in nutrition, this is another thing that I thought was really important. So that the issues with the AI, we kind of talked about AI in the fast food situation, but this right here is really important right here to me, I should say, and it might resonate with you as well. So in nutrition, we're talking about risk and dangers as it relates to AI. In nutrition, AI presents both opportunities and risks. Lawrence Haddad warns that AI's reliance on internet source data can fuel misinformation, reinforcing unhealthy eating habits and amplifying unqualified sources. He says the potential for harm is enormous and stressing the importance of collaboration between nutrition experts and AI specialists to mitigate risks. While AI can automate tasks, Haddad points out its limitations. Robots can be taught to fold laundry, but they will never replicate the human bonding that happens during breastfeeding. Without proactive leadership from the nutrition community, he warns nutrition will lose out. And I love the fact that they brought this up in this actual section of the article because a lot of us have different apps that are, guiding us with our diet and how what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat. And in my opinion, I feel like It's helpful to some degree, but I think at the same time, it's important to touch base with like a nutritionist or like a health coach to ensure that you are actually getting the proper nutrition for your body. Um, and I'm pretty sure over time, these apps will, incorporate more expert-based, help with managing these apps and helping people to have a more nutritious diet and lifestyle. But it's so important, especially with the onset of these apps, just ensuring that you are eating everything that is necessary for you to have a nutritional balanced diet, and you're not just going off of some type of trend that's happening and AI is pulling that information by way of whatever, like I said, that is, most popular at this time. It also says in this section, it says, beyond the accuracy and trust, AI raises deeper concerns about control over food system data. Research suggests that data driven food policies often prioritize output over systemic equity, reinforcing corporate driven food production while overlooking community based solutions. As AI continues to shape food policies, it risks favoring corporate driven models of food production over more equitable, community based approaches. Understanding these dynamics is essential to ensuring that AI serves broader societal goals rather than deepening existing disparities. I mean, like I said, I loved this particular section because it really gives you the idea of, okay, and here are the things that I need to be, kind of like thinking about if I'm going to use these tools to enhance or, yeah, basically to enhance my actual eating experience and just the nutrition that I'm, wanting to take in each and every day for my overall health. The article ends with just basically talking about, like how AI is, transforming the food production that we now know. And, basically is just, us just being as mindful as possible with how we actually move forward in using AI in our everyday lives as it relates to eating. It says at the end here, it says AI is poised to drive a shift towards an industry that shifts from mass production to precision nutrition, where food is no longer just about calories, but a tool for enhancing health and longevity. AI trends in the food sector go beyond just making processes faster and cheaper. They are revolutionizing what we eat and how we produce it, and ultimately how food fits into the broader human experience and the planet as a whole. For me, that is just so important. I think it's really helpful with AI eventually coming, not eventually, but it's here, but just really honing in and perfecting how we do look at how we eat each and every day. I think for many of us, excuse me, I think many of us have gone by general plans, right? This is what we should eat. This is the food pyramid. This is that, and this is what I'm required to have. And I think with AI, it will create more of a personalized plan for you in many ways if you do choose to use an AI based platform to manage your nutritional needs, as opposed to, well, like I said, what we're so used to is like, okay, everyone is supposed to eat this, this, and this. I love that we are now going towards what works for me, right? What works for my body as opposed to having this cookie cutter approach to eating, because not everyone is meant to eat the same things, right? I'm vegan. I know everyone is not going to be vegan. Some people love eating red meat and it sits well in their body. For me, not so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like knowing what works for you and possibly using AI as a tool to help you with managing your nutrition. It could be something that would benefit you moving forward. I will share this article in the show notes. I hope this was helpful for you. I loved the fact of learning, about AI and how it is, taking over in many ways the food industry and how we need to prepare ourselves and educate ourselves on how we will move forward with it as well, because it's here. It's not going anywhere. It's here, and the actual advancements of it is going to continue to just move forward. And so we need to move forward along with it and not be behind, right? And just understand where we fall in place as it relates to AI and how it's going to affect us eating and just in the future. So, yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, I'll share this information in the show notes. And, let's just keep on educating ourselves on what's going on in the world as it relates to our health and nutrition and the technologies that are out there as well. I love y'all, and I'll see you next week.